Hey everyone, I'm Doron, and today I want to talk about something that used to drive me crazy, keeping fixtures in focus. When I first started programming and running shows, the moment I dropped in a prism, everything went out of focus. I asked other LDs how do they deal with it, and most of them told me, just compromise, pick one look that matters most, focus for that, and live with the rest. But I didn't like that answer. I wanted every state to look sharp, so I built my own system. So let's start with the structure of my show file. I have slots for up to 5 groups of fixture that might use gobos, prisms, or zoom. And for this show, group 2 is my ACME5 R-beams, which has 1 gobo wheel, 1 prism wheel, and no zoom attribute. My group 3 is my Sharpie Plus, which has 2 gobo wheels, 2 prism wheels, and a zoom attribute. And my group 4 are some generic movelets with no gobo or prisms, just zoom attributes, so I won't be adjusting this group's focus, obviously. Now, you can't really see out of focus quote unquote on 3D, so let's just look at the screen. The real core of this engine here are my focus sequences. Each sequence covers every possible combination of gobo wheels, prism wheels, and zoom state. For example, my focus group 3, which are my Sharpie Plus, they have 36 states that are possible. That means it has 36 cues because it has 2 gobo wheels, 2 prism wheels, and a zoom attribute. Do the math yourself. Each cue points to a preset that I've adjusted for that exact look. I even use a trick with the cue numbers. The digits encode which state we're in. The units digit, for example, is for the zoom state. The tens is for the gobo state, and the hundreds is for the prism state. That way, when the desk needs to jump right to the focus, it's easy to calculate to which cue it should jump to. So what happens live? Let's say, for example, we change the gobo from gobo wheel 1 to gobo wheel 2. First of all, it changes the gobo. Secondly, it also changes the focus cue. What actually happens is that I have commands on my gobo sequences that sets a user variable, in that case G3 gobo, which is group 3 gobo state, to 20. After that, it goes the macro that sets the focus of group 3. That macro takes the status of the gobo, the status of the zoom, and the status of the prism, adds them all up, and fires the right focus. Now, before the show, I need to update my focus presets, which are on the recipe lines of my cues in my focus group sequence. That may sound very tiring, but I have macros that ease up the job. Let's try, for example, my focus preset adjust of group 3 of my Sharpies. What it does when I click it is, first of all, takes all my Sharpies into the programmer and tops the focus group of my Sharpies. Now I can adjust the focus for this state, for example, this focus, and click the macro again. Now it goes to the next state, and again, and again. This only takes a couple of minutes to update all 36 cues of this sequence. But not all my focus sequences have 36 cues. For example, my beam has less cues and less presets that needs to be updated. So how do I determine how many steps are in each macro of focus preset adjust? For that, I built a plugin that determines how many wheels each fixture type has. Let's click on it. For my beams, there is only 1 gobo wheel, 1 prism wheel, and no zoom attribute. For my Sharpie Plus, 2, 2, and yes. And for my movelets, only zoom. What that plugin does is 2 things. First, let's look on the prism of group 2. It only has the prism 1 cue because it doesn't have 2 prism wheels. Unlike my Sharpie Plus that has my prism 2 wheel and my prism 1 plus 2 cue. Secondly, it changes my focus preset adjusts of the groups. As you can see, it disables all the steps that are unnecessary for the group. And when I try to adjust the focus presets of group 2, let's off this and look over here. It just goes through all the necessary states. Of course, I can adjust the preset, adjust this preset, and so on and so on. In conclusion, the point was simple. I didn't want to ever see a fixture drifting out of focus during my show. Now, no matter what gobo, prism, or zoom state I mean, there's always a preset ready. The only thing I might add someday is focus per position, but for now that will do. Thanks for watching, and I'll catch you in the next video.